Get in the game with William Hill, the place for fans who want a little more out of the games they love. Go to WilliamHill.com or download the app, register, and get your bet down. Bet spreads, parlays, in-play, and more using William Hill's simple and safe deposit and withdrawal methods. And now William Hill has a sign-up offer that can't be beat. Get up to a $500 free bet on your first deposit by signing up today with promo code PIKE500. That's a free bet up to $500 just by signing up and making your first deposit with promo code PIKE500 with William Hill. Get in the game with William Hill. New customers only, must be at least 21 years old. Terms and conditions apply. Problem gambler, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishottle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishottle. Doug, I was strolling through social media the other night, and what took me by surprise was there's preseason NBA basketball. I realized they start December 22nd, but I didn't realize we're that close to December 22nd.
I have to admit, I am actually looking forward to seeing how these teams are shaping up after that bubble season. I know we have a new coach in Philadelphia. There's a bunch of new players and new trades that were happened, and the teams are starting to get into clearer picture, and actually a lot of the sports books have released the futures. They've released some prop bets on Player of the Year, MVP, that sort of thing already. It's not Christmas until you have basketball.
I know. Well, it just took me by surprise. I mean, we just had basketball, and all of a sudden, it's great to have NBA back. I mean, I for the month they were gone, I kind of missed it, and December 22nd is really sneaking up on us.
It's actually starting to become another busy sports schedule again because you have college basketball, NBA, NHL is still trying to figure out what they're starting to do, and we still have the last couple of months of the regular season for the NFL too.
Yeah. Well, we got a busy show coming up. Certainly, we have our NFL picks. We're going to have the Turnpike Sports Book Report where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. And for my interview, I'm going to have an incredible interview with a new sports book called Zensports. I mean, overseas, they have peer-to-peer betting, and they have their own cryptocurrency, and right now they're applying for licenses for sports betting in a couple of states in the U.S., and we're going to talk with the CEO, Mark Thomas, and he's going to tell us all about this incredible sports book called Zensports. So stick around for that. It's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Okay, even with COVID and the shutdowns of both the businesses around the country and around the world and also the sports shutdowns, it's actually turning into what could be a really good, not only year, but especially the month of October for the U.S. sports betting industry.
I mean, it's certainly growing. I mean, it's on the rebound, which is nice to see.
Well, October is shaping up, like I said, to be the best month for the U.S. sports betting industry. According to the American Gaming Association, at the time we're taping this, because it could change when we come out on Thursday with the show.
Yeah, more and more numbers are coming out.
Exactly. Yeah. In October of 2020, at least $2.82 billion was wagered in the 17 states and the District of Columbia in terms of sports betting wagering.
which is
That's
amazing.
a record handle. It's approaching a record. I shouldn't say that. We're approaching a record handle for October. At this time, Illinois still has not put out their numbers because while everyone reports November numbers around this time, Illinois, for some reason, is lagging behind. They're a month behind. But again, it's fine. It's still counted as part of October when they release their October numbers. They're anticipating over $3 billion, which would be a record handle for the United States as a whole.
I mean,
what a sports betting.
What a benchmark. $3 billion. I mean, before the Supreme Court did away with PATSPA, I could not even imagine those kind of numbers with regard to the gambling industry.
Well, not only are we talking about a potential record handle for the country, they've already gotten a record revenue number for the United States.
This is for October, right?
This is October only.
Okay.
Record handle, potential record handle, definite record revenue. It's going to go even higher once Illinois comes in with their numbers.
Okay.
A record revenue of $237.5 million for the entire country.
Wow.
Now that's before promos and free bets and all that stuff. That's the revenue, not the taxable revenue.
Okay.
So that number still has yet to be determined because of Illinois again. But again, incredible to see that. I did a quick little math here. It's about an 8%, 8.5% national hold, which is actually incredible if you think about it, because everyone was poo-pooing, and I think I said this for the last couple of weeks. They've been poo-pooing that 10% legislative hold in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. We're approaching that as a nation.
Yeah, that's a natural hold, right?
Yeah, that's a natural hold. So it's going to be interesting, and that's the record revenue is a 53.5% increase over the previous record month of revenue, which was October of last year, 2019.
Boy, October's a big year for sports betting. It's a big month for sports betting.
Well, I guess there's a lot of sports going on. I mean, NFL,
Yeah.
NBA, usually NFL, NBA, and hockey are all going, but, in COVID.
October's usually a great month for
Exactly.
sports. Yeah.
But the one other thing I noticed in the AGA report, New Jersey has emerged as the number one sports betting market.
Oh, congratulations to our home state of New Jersey.
They have set sports betting monthly records for the state in 3 consecutive months. So they just keep going up and up and up and up. Nevada also came in October with an all-time high handle. They had a record, $659.2 million in wagers. Mm-hmm. That's a 21% increase year over year. And, everyone was worried about Nevada losing business to the other markets.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think they have too much.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I mean, they're setting records as well. They're setting state records, but
it's just amazing to see this industry starting to take off, especially in a lot of this COVID atmosphere.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, I wonder how much, and I got to dig deeper into the report, how much betting on table tennis.
Oh God!
That has helped.
I can't.
I know MMA's
look. I know
increased their betting.
I know they have fans. I know darts and table tennis has fans. I mean, just look at Colorado; they're still betting on table tennis. Oh, but I'm just terrible at it. I can't stand it. I mean, I just don't do it. I mean, I did it once or twice, and I just don't understand the game. Maybe.
Again, it's one of those Belarusian soccer. Who thought about we were going to be betting on that?
Well, soccer is a huge betting.
Korean baseball.
If you ever go into, I always check my bets in the morning. You go on to your online sports books to see how you did the night before. Yeah, I usually know, but I always want to double check. And, there are live games being played, and it's all soccer.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you like betting around the clock, then you like betting on soccer.
Well, the one thing I noticed in terms of this, next year we're going to see new records anyway, because we have, like I said, 17 states and the District of Columbia. They're the ones that have retail and online sports betting, however they're doing it. That's actually in action right now. Mm-hmm. By this time next year, we should have about another maybe 8 states.
Yeah.
24,
probably.
25 total.
Yeah.
Territories, whatever you want to call it, with District of Columbia mixed in there. So you're going to see a higher number next year, too. I don't see this number going down at all. So I think this is just a precursor to what 2021 is going to bring in terms of sports betting handle, hold, revenue, taxes, and I think we're just starting to see the growth of the industry here.
Exit 2.
We always talk esports in this exit, and this one's not going to be any different. We have a brand new league that has just launched.
Great. Wow.
Called the Ultimate Gaming League. Now, it's not some steroid-induced gaming league where they're going to be massive amounts of prizes or anything like that. This is actually a really interesting league in terms of who is running it.
Okay.
It's run by a group called Antares Gaming.
Antares Gaming. Okay.
And it's a company that specializes in hooking esports teams up with celebrities.
Great. Wow. All right.
And what they have done here, they have created the Ultimate Gaming League. They just announced it. They just launched it. It's 4 teams right now. The teams will compete in seasons across Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Madden, and FIFA.
Wow. Okay.
So they're hitting
Great.
the biggies.
Yep.
They're going to be comprised of current NFL and former NFL players as well as pro gamers.
Wow, that should be interesting.
The 4 teams. And I think as soon as I say the name of this first team, you know who's involved with it. Ocho Cinco Gaming.
Okay, well, Chad Johnson, he's huge with FIFA.
Yes.
I follow
He loves
him.
FIFA.
I follow him on social media, and a lot of the discussions he's playing FIFA. So, no, that makes sense.
Well, he's teaming up with Darius Slay, the Eagles cornerback,
Okay,
and also the Titans defensive back Desmond King. They're current players. It's a former and 2 current.
all right,
The next team is The Fam Gaming, like the family.
okay.
Marshawn Lynch. Another guy huge in esports.
Yeah, no, I've heard his name a lot associated with esports.
He's working with 49ers quarterback Josh Johnson,
All right,
one of the backups. As a matter of fact, he was on a whole bunch of different teams for a while, filling in for injured players. And Ravens defensive back Marcus Peters,
all right,
2 current players as well. Then you have 4 Brothers Gaming. Raiders defensive end Max Crosby, alongside running back Josh Jacobs,
okay.
2 current players. And the 4th team, and it's pronounced Glitch Gaming, but it's got an X in it.
Okay. Wait.
Glitxh.
Okay. All right.
It's Glitch Gaming,
All right.
and that will be captained by Jaguars defensive back Sidney Jones IV, and he's going to have wide receivers Preston Wilson and Rashad Higgins on his team as well. They're all
right.
Jaguars.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about what this Ultimate Gaming League is going to be doing, they had their first event December 17th. It was an opening event where all these teams played. I believe it was a Call of Duty tournament.
All right.
And what they did was not only did they stream it on Twitch and all the normal broadcast channels, they opened up the audience applications to join teams.
That's great.
What they're going to be doing, they're going to have fans send in their applications, and they're going to have a draft of all these applications on December 21st to put in some of these fans as players on their teams so they can compete in the Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Madden, and FIFA seasons that
I'd
they're going to be
be
participating
curious
in.
about what the application looks like. I mean, what are the questions they ask? Are they asking about high scores and how often you play and where you play and things like that? Or
Could be anything. I know age is not becoming a factor because one team in the esports industry signed an 8-year-old.
An 8-year-old.
Yeah, that's going to cause some issues down the road.
8-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
You know how everyone's talking about esports betting?
Bizarre.
I think that may cause some issues down the road for esports with that 8-year-old signing if he's actually going to be competing in a lot of these seasons. But
that's interesting.
This is actually kind of an interesting league to watch. It's got the names, it's got the games.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, my interest is piqued. I can't wait to check it out. I mean, are they going to do the Twitch thing, which everyone is doing for esports,
and also their own platform too.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I'll check.
They're
going
to do everything, all the normal stuff, and also the NFL players, former and current. They all have their own Twitch streams anyway.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah,
they got their stuff.
Exit 3.
Now, if you've been paying close attention in the social media sphere, they've been saying for a while that ESPN has not been doing well. Now I
know they're laying off a lot of people.
Now you can officially say that
Okay.
ESPN is going to the dogs.
Okay, okay. What does that mean?
The network has just signed a 3-year content agreement with the American Kennel Club.
Dog shows.
Yes.
Will there be dog shows? Hey, let me tell you something. That's huge. Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving, you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and right after there's a huge dog show. I mean, it's there every year. I don't know the exact name of it, but when you go in, you see Santa Claus at the end of the Thanksgiving Day Parade, and all of a sudden it's the dog show. That's
the American Kennel Club Dog Show.
Is that what it is? Okay,
that's one of them. That's one of them.
But the TV's on, and I check out a little bit of it.
Now,
so it's interesting, but no, I didn't know ESPN was going in on this.
Well, and I'm going to use the press release language here because it's interesting how they phrase this too. This agreement will bring unique, high-energy dog programming to the channel.
Okay, all right.
High-energy dog programming.
But, if high energy means, that dog show that I usually catch a little bit of, they're running around with the dogs. Is that what they're talking about? Or is that high energy? Is that what's considered high energy?
No, but I looked at some of these events that they have planned.
Okay.
Very interesting events. But first of all, this isn't going to be on ESPN Network TV right off the bat.
All right.
This is first for the app. Because they're pushing the app.
Now, is this the ESPN Plus
app,
thing?
yes.
Okay, all right.
This is app first.
All right.
Every program we're going to be talking about in this little segment here is going to go app first. Then it's going to go to the ESPN television channels. And then it's also going to re-air on the National Geographic Wild channel, which is another little channel under the National Geographic brand.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to see these multiple times. If you don't have the app, just wait a little bit. It'll be up on the regular TV stuff that you have access to in terms of your cable deal.
Okay.
Now, this agreement will bring and this is, I think, one of the ones you're talking about, the American Kennel Club National Championship to ABC for the next 3 years.
Okay, is that what I'm watching on
That's
Thanksgiving?
one of the. I don't know if that's the one you see on Thanksgiving.
I don't know.
But it's a 3-hour dog show. It's going to air January 17th this year.
All right.
At 3 p.m. It's the largest dog event in America. Thousands of dogs from around the world come to compete for the title of national champion, and there's also a prize of $50,000.
All right.
I don't know who gets it, the dog or the owner, but
Yeah, right.
but given what's going on here, this is what some of the programming will include. The AKC, the American Kennel Club, I'll just say AKC,
Yeah.
the Fastest Dogs USA competition. Basically, it's the 100-yard dash for dogs.
I was going to say, is this dog racing?
Dog racing. Individual dog racing. No one's it's one dog at a time.
This is like a combine for dogs?
Basically.
Okay, all right.
And some stats on the Fastest Dog USA race. One of the competing dogs is a Pekingese called Buster.
All right.
He runs an average speed of 7.39 miles per hour.
All right.
So in the Pekingese category, he's the leader, technically. He's the best.
Okay, all right.
In the Greyhound division, they have a dog
These
called
things fly.
Dagnabbit.
Dagnabbit. Okay, but I mean, is this an actual professional racing? Because they still have dog racing.
This is a competition dog.
Okay, they're not. This Greyhound isn't racing the tracks.
They're technically not supposed to be in there if they're racing.
Oh, okay.
So this is Dagnabbit's average speed is 37 miles an hour.
Wow. Okay.
Comparison, Usain Bolt.
Okay.
His fastest time was 28 miles an hour.
All right. Okay.
So he wouldn't.
So they're moving.
These dogs.
The
some of these dogs
moving,
can outrace him.
All right.
But again, it's going to be fun to watch to see this. With ESPN's deal with William Hill, though, I kind of think we're going to start seeing some dog betting on some of these competition.
Really?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
the fastest dog seems to be made for betting. Over/under speeds, that sort of stuff. We're also going to see the AKC National Championship, which we just talked about, the Agility Premier Cup. They're going to be sending them through obstacle courses, that sort of stuff, where they're going to time them going through the different twists and turns, and tunnels.
Okay. All right.
Like the horse obstacle courses you see.
Okay. All right.
The Agility Championship, which is the same thing but a different cup.
All right.
And then the AKC Fly Ball National Championship, which, if you think about what it is, it's playing fetch.
Well, I what was big one time is the guys with the Frisbees. and their dogs.
It's either going to be a frisbee
you
or a
usually
ball.
see a guy at a park with a frisbee and a dog with a bandana around its neck and running and jumping and catching a frisbee.
I wonder if the dog likes the bandana.
I don't know.
That just seems stupid to me to put a bandana around a dog, but whatever. But again, ESPN, they're looking in new programming. They're trying to push the app. It's actually an interesting way, a little diversification of the type of sports they're offering.
Exit 4.
And last but not least, I came across a story about the Wayne Gretzky card that's going to be up for auction soon. It's supposed to be the very first NHL card that's going to go for $1 million.
Okay.
Over $1 million.
I'm assuming this must be a Wayne Gretzky rookie card.
Yes.
They're usually rookie cards that are the big money.
The 1979 Wayne Gretzky OPC rookie card. The company that put it out was OPC.
Okay.
It's a relatively unknown. It's a Canadian company for doing collectible cards and all that stuff. They're like a Topps.
So as far as the NHL is concerned, this is the top. This
would be the top.
This is like the Honus Wagner kind of card
yes.
of the NHL. Okay,
yes. Now, included in the story were references to some of the other potential cards that are going to be up on auction. Heritage Sports is doing this auction again. Heritage Sports is the leading memorabilia in auction house for sports. So they're going to be doing this auction. It's going to include the Wayne Gretzky card. They're also going to include a 1916 Babe Ruth card that could top the $200,000.
Wow, okay.
Now, what I started looking at this, and they started referencing this index, the PWCC 500. It's an index that tracks the market for collectible cards. If people go to pwccmarketplace.com, it's a really cool site if you're into collecting cards, sports cards, all that stuff. Even they have Pokemon cards up there and everything. It keeps track of the entire market.
I always hear stories about this, and it makes me want to go down in my basement because I had tons of cards. I had tons of baseball. I had tons of football cards. And I hear these things and I hear these stories. It makes me wonder what I have. So I think I have to go find some of the things I collected when I was a kid. And by the way, when I was a kid, I didn't call them collecting. I bought a pack of Topps trading cards.
And you chewed the gum that was basically breaking apart.
Yeah.
And it's so brittle.
And by the way, I never traded any cards.
No.
They're sitting in a box somewhere, which means I got to go find them. And I'm curious to see what I have.
Well, according to the PWCC 500, which has been around since 2008, which I found out, which is incredible. They've been keeping track of this. Because of the lockdowns and the shutdowns, people not going out, they're seeing a boom in the collectible card industry.
You know what? People are cleaning out their basements.
Or they're sitting around bored.
Yeah, I mean, do people, let me tell you something. This is what I'm thinking. I got nothing to do. I'm going to walk down and take a look to see what I have. And people are cleaning out their basements. People are cleaning out their houses and their closets. And, they're running across these cards. So, of course it's booming.
Well, according to the index, they not only do they have an all-time high in May in terms of the business industry itself, they have gained more than 216% since the inception of this index in 2008. So it's going up and up and up.
I like I said, I hear stories like this, and I want to go down and see what I have and compare it to, what they have on their website.
eBay has seen an increase of 92%.
Wow.
From March through May of collectible card sales and auctions through their site. So the booming industry, and actually Heritage has come out and said that this Gretzky card and everything is just normal now. Because in terms of basketball, their record was a Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer rookie card selling for $420,000.
I definitely have to go down and look what I have. Man, I'm hearing these numbers and I'm like getting antsy. I want to get down and see what I got.
And a 1941 Joe DiMaggio card. I know I don't have one of those.
Wow. Okay.
And a 2004 LeBron James card. Both surpassed Jordan. They both sold for each $700,000. Now, one of the other interesting entries into the trading card market was the Anthony Fauci card.
Really? All right. Yeah, I know they had one.
Topps threw out a limited edition run, about 51,000 cards, 51,500 cards, sold out in less than 24 hours. Each one went for $9.99.
All right.
They are now going for over $150, $200 on eBay.
Wow. Okay. Boy, if you jumped in on that, that's great.
That's a good market, and in certain areas, COVID has been devastating, but in other areas, it's nice to see some other businesses booming here.
Yeah. And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, stick around because later on we're going to have our NFL picks, and we're also going to have our Turnpike Sports Book Report. But right after this, I'm talking with the CEO of Zensports, Mark Thomas. He's going to tell us all about Zensports and this incredible new sports book. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let VCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective VCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. That's right. Get the bathroom of your dreams now and pay for it in 2021. Call 1-800-462-5722 for a free no-obligation price quote. That's 1-800-462-5722. When you want quality bathroom products at a great price, it's got to be BCI Bath & Shower. That's 1-800-462-5722.
Attention Medicare recipients and anyone turning 65. Medicare has approved new benefits not included with original Medicare and older Medicare Advantage plans. You may not be getting all of the benefits you're entitled to, including in-home aids, telephone appointments with your doctors, home-delivered meals and prescriptions. These benefits may be available, and it's a free call to enroll. The new plans may also offer free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free wellness visits, and gym memberships. Call the Medicare benefits line now. It's easy. Call 800-217-1797. 800-217-1797. Find out if you're eligible for new benefits like meal and prescription delivery, in-home aids, and telemedicine. Some plans may have a $0 monthly premium or zero copays for big out-of-pocket savings. Not all Medicare Advantage plans are alike. The new plans have more benefits for many people. Call 800-217-1797. 800-217-1797. 800-217-1797.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Dave Weishottle with you here. You know, doing this show and being a gaming attorney, I get to talk to a lot of sports betting operators. However, there's a new company out there that I think will be getting a lot of attention in the sports betting markets across the country. The company is called Zensports, and they're doing something really unique in the sports betting community. And to tell us all about this incredible company, we have the co-founder and CEO of Zensports, Mark Thomas, on the line. Mark, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Dave, for having me. Excited to be here.
Oh, thank you for coming on. I got to tell you, Zensports is an incredible concept. But before we start talking about that, I want to know, how did you become involved in the sports betting world?
Well, we originally started out as a slightly different concept a few years ago, and when the Supreme Court struck down PASPA in May of 2018, I turned to my co-founder and said, "Hey, we need to pivot into sports betting." And he gave me a little bit of an odd look, but he trusted my judgment there, and we forged into this world. I've been a diehard sports fan for 32 years, into sports betting for 25 years. So I think it was kind of a natural fit for us, given that we were a sports company, technology sports company in the first place, but wanted to do something a little bit bigger and better. And so, saw that the writing was on the wall in terms of the legalization of it here in the United States. And, we wanted to make a push into it. So here we are.
Tell us a little something about the concept of Zensports, because I love what you're doing overseas and I love the whole idea about it.
Yeah. So the concept of Zensports is that we're trying to be a little bit different than what a traditional sports book would be. Traditional sports book, you come into an app or a website and they offer you a line of bets, at certain odds, and you either have to take them or, you don't accept a bet. And you're going up against the house. You're going up against professional bookmakers that know how to, make book. With Zensports, our focus is a peer-to-peer concept. We do offer a traditional sports book, but the concept of Zensports is that you have the choice to create your own bets, with your own odds and your own terms and your own liquidity if you so choose. And what that does is it really puts people in control of their own destiny. If they want to kind of come in and be passive and treat it like a sports book, they can certainly do so. But if they want more control over, what types of bets that they want to get into, the odds and the terms and all that good stuff, they can essentially almost become the book, if you will. And I think that's really exciting because, in the generation, of millennials and Gen Z wanting to, really control their destiny, we fit right into that perfectly. And then we also, while we offer traditional fiat betting, in dollars, we also, use cryptocurrencies as well too. And there's a lot of pain points that solves for as well. So it's a pretty exciting new platform. And, we're excited to be working on it.
I love that whole concept. I love the idea about it. What did you see in the sports betting market that made you feel that Zensports would be very successful?
I think a couple of things. One is if you look at traditional bookmakers, while, I think there's a lot of value that they provide in just the liquidity piece of it, I think that kind of lack of being able to choose your own destiny, when you look at other types of platforms and products in non-gaming, in the non-gaming world, like trading, right? You see Robinhood comes along and makes something very simple and easy and puts customers in control of their trading and their financial destiny. And if you look at other marketplace businesses, even like Uber and Airbnb, they allow you to really control the process of how you catch a ride, in the case of Uber, or book a place to stay in the case of Airbnb. Why can't that same marketplace concept be applied to sports betting? So that's really, I think, what it comes down to is putting customers in control, giving them choice, and taking just advantage of the technology that exists today, to make that marketplace possible.
I am so intrigued with the peer-to-peer betting. I mean, that's a new concept to a lot of people, especially in the U.S. Can you tell us how that exactly works? Yeah,
so the way it works is this, is if you want to come in and create your own bets with your own odds, your own terms, et cetera, we walk you through kind of a simple 7-step flow that takes about 20 seconds or so, where you can choose what league or sport you want to bet on, whether you want to bet on a team or a player, whether you want to do a prop bet or just kind of a straight up money line or point spread bet. And then we allow you the ability to set those odds and to set the terms, like in terms of like point spreads, what those would be and so forth. You also have the ability to just write in your own bet. So if you want to hey, I think LeBron James is going to bank in a 3-pointer, in the next 2 minutes, you could do something like that. Or you could even say, hey, I think, I'm a Bucs fan, so I'll say the Bucs are going to come out in their black uniforms. You can do pretty much anything, but at the same time, you can do all the standard stuff too. So if you just want to tease a normal traditional type of bet and make it your own, you can do so. And I think, being able to get in and do something like that in, like I said, about 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, and make it really easy and don't have to have people think about it or manually write stuff in, that's really the key. And then it gets added to the marketplace after it's created, and then it's acceptable for anybody else to accept. or they could share it with their friends and have their friends accept it. So you could do really, truly kind of like friend to friend, or you could do anonymous peer-to-peer, via the marketplace.
For the people who are betting peer-to-peer, I mean, there are certainly some advantages because there's always a question about the fees that go to a centralized bookmaker. Can you tell us a little bit about the benefits for people who bet on Zensports when it's peer-to-peer?
Yeah, so on the fee side of things, we're very transparent, which I think is actually another really big benefit. You're right. When you take a regular bet with a traditional sports book, it's always confusing or opaque what the fees are. There's really not very good transparency when it comes to that.
No.
With Zensports, we simply just charge a marketplace fee on a sliding scale based on a few different factors. It's definitely less than traditional bookmaker and is transparent. It's very clear, hey, this is what the fee is going to be based on the amount that you're betting. And so I think that really resonates with customers again, is just that transparency and clarity as to what they're paying in fees versus what the actual bet amount is. And so separating the two out is, I think that's the future, right? I mean, saying, hey, this is what you're betting, and then over here separately, here's what the fees are.
Another thing about Zensports, and I checked out your website, it was great, Zensports.com, is that you mentioned it before, you have your own currency. I mean, how does that work for people who are not familiar with betting like that?
Yeah, so real quickly on cryptocurrencies, I know it's kind of a foreign concept for a lot of folks, but it's gaining steam, which is great.
Yeah.
So if you think about traditional fiat, which is U.S. dollars payments, there's a lot of problems with that, especially in the gambling world. So let's say you were to go into a traditional sports book, whip out your credit card and say, hey, I want to deposit $100. First of all, your bank may just flat out decline the transaction. Say, no, sorry, we're not sending money to a gambling website because we don't approve of that. And even if they do approve it, they're going to charge high fees, both to the operator and to you. It may take a few days for you to get your money in. And on the operator side, there's chargeback fraud, right? The customer may go back to their bank and charge it back. Cryptocurrencies get sort of all of that. So there's no middleman saying yes or no, you can't do that. The fees are basically almost non-existent. They're very, near zero. Settlement times are instant, and there's no chargebacks because all transactions are immutable. So that's crypto in general. And then we've taken that a step further and created our own cryptocurrency token called Sports, which kind of acts like a casino chip. Is probably the best analogy to use. You can buy and sell sports tokens. You can wager with them. We provide incentives like lower betting fees and cashback bonuses and other cool perks and rewards that you can get by betting with our token. And it kind of acts like I said, a casino chip. It acts also like a collectible. You can hold them long term, or you could choose to sell them and exchange in or out of them if you want. So it's just a much smoother way of like getting money in, getting money out, wagering. It's also, I think, more fun as well too than just betting with traditional dollars.
Now, what can people expect to see when they log on to your app? I guess you can get your app through Zensports.com. Which sports are you offering right now?
We offer quite a bit. So we offer all the biggies like NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball, tennis, golf, MMA. And then we also offer betting on esports. So there's 6 game titles within the esports world that we offer betting on as well too. And I would say the betting is pretty spread across all of those. I mean, we get quite a bit of interest in betting on all those different sports. It's not just on the NFL, for example, or anything like that. I mean, we get quite a bit of betting on esports. We get quite a bit of betting, on tennis. Sorry, I also forgot we have 25 international soccer leagues that we offer betting on too. That's super popular as well. So yeah, we try to offer all the kind of wider range of stuff. We don't currently do anything like horse racing. We may get into that at some point, but yeah, that menu is a nice selection, and most people, really find that to be, sufficient and also diversified.
Now, I've talked to a lot of sportsbook operators, and one of the difficult hurdles that every operator has to go through is the state-by-state licensing process. Now, you're going through that now. Mm-hmm. What states are you applying for a license in right now?
Yeah, so we have applications on file right now in Nevada, Virginia, and Tennessee. We are working on a partnership deal with a brick-and-mortar casino in Colorado as well, too, as we speak.
Great.
But we have not begun the application process for that until that deal is done. It's kind of cool because Virginia and Tennessee are the two states that don't require a brick and mortar presence
Yes.
To be able to operate in. So we were able to get those applications going in pretty short order. And in Nevada, we signed a deal in the summer to purchase a casino. So that's our brick and mortar presence there.
Now, why did you choose those particular states, and what's it like going through the process? And how far along are you in the process with those states?
Sure. So Nevada, as I mentioned, we signed a deal over the summer to purchase a casino there. You know, that in terms of desire was obviously number one on the list because it has the most handle out of all the states. I think they did about $5.3 billion last year in handle, with New Jersey being second. So just from a pure, a big opportunity perspective, we wanted to make sure we were delving into Nevada. And one of our investors actually owns a few casinos in Nevada, so we were able to strike a deal with him to purchase one of those.
Oh, that's nice.
And we started that process in September. It's about a 9-month process in total. So we're looking at probably May, sometime before we get licensed in Nevada. And then Virginia and Tennessee, as I mentioned, were online only. So that was attractive because we didn't have to do any kind of brick and mortar partnership or purchase to go into those states. There was a 2-week window for Virginia that we had to get it in. It was October 15th to October 31st was it. I remember Saturday morning at about 2:30 in the morning on Halloween, getting that application submitted. It was all online, which is great. So we got that in. We are expecting an answer back on that one should be end of January. And then Tennessee, we just submitted about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. And that's about a 3-month process as well. So that one was both paper and thumb drive process. So that one wasn't online. A lot of paperwork. Posted a picture of it on Twitter, and I was glad when that was done because that was a lot.
Zensports overseas has such a unique way of betting, peer-to-peer and your own cryptocurrency. Is what you're going for a license in the U.S., are you including the peer-to-peer betting and the cryptocurrency, or are you going for a traditional sports betting license and maybe down the road you might kind of implement peer-to-peer and your own cryptocurrency?
Great question. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, we do offer a traditional sports book. So we will definitely be getting the traditional sports betting license in the states that we go into. And really the reason is for the next thing I'm about to say, which is while most states are probably going to be okay with the peer-to-peer betting, we don't want that to prevent us from going in if they don't.
Okay.
And each state is different as to how they look at that. So, for example, there's nothing in Nevada or Virginia that explicitly prevents peer-to-peer. And so we do expect to hopefully get approved for that. Of course, then that becomes a business decision that the regulators have to make. Even if it doesn't explicitly, make it illegal, they still have to say, yes, we're okay with that for other reasons. And then in Tennessee, we're still kind of working through that to see if we can do that. Our stance is as follows. We're getting the traditional sports betting license, but we are pushing for the peer-to-peer piece if possible, as much as possible, because we feel it's best in the best interest of consumers and in the best interest of customers. And so it's really, we just kind of have to show them why this is, safe, why it's successful, why consumers want it. I mean, one big part of that is we show them that we are still the operator of record. We escrow all the funds when bets are created and accepted. We have a full dispute resolution process in place where we are the arbiter. It's safe is the point. And so showing them that, I think, is critical to getting them comfortable with that. But we do have to get approved for that. So, that's just something we have to push for. And if by some chance a state is not okay with that, while that's unfortunate, we're not going to stop from going in there. We obviously will push forward with the traditional sports betting license.
Talk to me about your marketing strategy. You're certainly going in Tennessee, Virginia, Nevada, and Colorado. Yeah, you're going against really big operators there. You're going against the FanDuels and the DraftKings and the BetMGMs. How are you standing out apart from those guys? What makes you special? What do you want people to know about Zensports?
Well, I think on the product side, clearly the peer-to-peer piece and the cryptocurrency piece sets us apart. I do think we've also taken a really, because we are, originally a Silicon Valley, traditional tech startup. We recently moved to the LA area, but the point is, we have that in our DNA that we're a tech-first company. Whereas Some of those competitors that you mentioned are not tech-first companies, and some of them are, but many of them aren't. So I think from just also a technology perspective, when you go beyond the peer-to-peer piece and the cryptocurrency piece, I think we've really spent a lot of time on, the real, key design flow and all that good stuff that is important, the user experience and so forth. It's clean, it's simple. Anybody even that's not familiar with sports betting can get started pretty easily. We walk them through it, all that good stuff. So that's that. And I think we've got some other unique angles too. I mean, for example, and this is actually going back to our roots. Before we got into sports betting, we actually do tournament software. So we've recently started hosting our esports tournaments. We have Twitch integration. We have, tournaments that we're hosting. And that's actually been a pretty good driver of signups and customers. Of course, we do all the traditional things like content marketing, SEO, social media, et cetera. But I think when you combine all the things that we do, both product wise and marketing wise, I think it's a really unique offering that I think a lot of consumers are going to be drawn to. Of course, that does require some marketing spend, which we will plan on doing. But I think for a lot of reasons, I think we've got a great chance to win.
Now, as you mentioned, if you're going to expand in other states, a lot of states require a land-based partner. I know you already are in discussions or have a deal already with a land-based partner in a jurisdiction. Do you plan on making more deals like that to grow around the country?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the one in process in Colorado that I mentioned, so that would take us to 4 states. And then we are in conversations with brick and mortars in other states as well too, 100%. So that has to be the strategy since that's the requirement. So we are, we're not looking to skirt or break the law or anything like that. We want to do everything the legal right way. So that's kind of the next thing up for us is brick and mortar partnerships. We are in process or in talks to start those. Colorado is kind of the most imminent one. But then we're also looking at Indiana, Iowa, West Virginia, and I believe South Dakota. So we're definitely, because that's just one of the states that just recently legalized sports betting. So we're definitely got the laundry list. Definitely excited to get those conversations going for sure.
Over the last couple of years, one of the areas of sports that has exploded is esports, and even betting on esports has taken off, and you alluded to it. I love the fact that you're involved in esports. Talk more about Zensports and the plans they have for the esports on their platform. Yeah,
so we offer esports betting for 6 different game titles. Those game titles are Counter-Strike Go, League of Legends, Dota 2, FIFA, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege. So those are game titles made by various different publishers. Like those are some of the top 6 game titles that are out there made by Riot Games and so forth. So anyways, there's a variety of tournaments and leagues within those game titles that take place around the world that we offer betting on. And so you could bet on a European Cup tournament for League of Legends as an example. So that's something that you can bet on within our app. We did recently, as I mentioned, start offering our own esports tournaments within Zensports. And that's something we'd like to offer betting on if a jurisdiction would allow for it. But we haven't really kind of crossed that line yet. It's something that could certainly take place. But right now, the esports that we offer betting on are those 6 game titles that are held by, professionally sanctioned tournaments and leagues.
I always joke that, I'm sitting here in New Jersey and we presently have 19 sports books that are all basically the same. I mean, they have similar lines, similar odds, similar way of betting, similar promotions. Yep. I mean, Zensports is offering such a unique way of sports betting, and it'd really be a breath of fresh air in a market like New Jersey. I mean, is one of the challenges for Zensports is getting the word out there, how unique you are, especially in a crowded market, especially like you're getting, you're applying in Nevada and maybe down the road, New Jersey, which I would love. I'd jump on it all as quickly as possible. But is that one of the challenges, getting your name out in such crowded markets like that?
Sure. I'd say to some degree. I mean, we're certainly going up against very well-funded competitors, right? I mean, as you rattled off all those names, they've all got very large market caps and nice war chests to be able to, to grow. And some of them are, title sponsors for the NBA. And I mean, they're just, you think of sports betting, you think of those companies. I do think there's a really if you look at like a lot of startups that have grown massively into the companies they are today, if you look at the Ubers and the Robinhoods that are, they started out as very, very, very tiny startups, and then exploded into these multi-billion-dollar valuations and market caps, it's really because of the word of mouth. That really has to be the primary driver. If the primary driver is big, expensive ads, that's usually a rough road to eventually get to the top. Now, eventually you have to do that to maintain market share. So I understand why those companies do it. But when you're at our stage, when you're much earlier on, it's got to be a word of mouth play. And so for example, in that regard, we have like a referral bonuses program where, if we're both in New Jersey and I refer you, and you sign up, you get a higher free play bonus by signing up with my referral code.
Wow.
And then I get a percentage of your betting fees paid. So we really want to incentivize that word of mouth and referral component so that, people are almost acting as our marketing arm for us out there. So we're not having to spend, tens of millions of dollars on billboard ads or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I know this pandemic has been a very challenging time for the gambling industry, but I've talked to a lot of the new sportsbook operators who said, yeah, it was an awful time, but it gave us an opportunity to strengthen our business plan. I mean, while people were betting on darts and table tennis, it gave them the opportunity to perfect their technology and work on their business methods. In your opinion, how has the pandemic affected the sports betting industry, and in particular, Zensports?
Well, I think it's allowed us to focus on the U.S. market. I think without it, I mean, who knows? We might have only continued focusing internationally, which is where we've been operating since March of 2019. But I think it gave us a chance to work on some of those business development deals, to work on that deal to buy the casino in Nevada, to think of the strategy for going into more states. And of course, yeah, I mean, we have great, amazing software engineers on our team. So we've always continued to build great tech. I mean, we do bi-weekly sprints. So we're churning out new features and stuff every couple of weeks. So that's always a given. But I think on the strategy side, it really allowed us to really go, what is the biggest opportunity here? And I think the international market's nice. I think we could build certainly a nice business on that. But I think especially since we're based here, the really, really big opportunity over the next 5 years is here in the U.S. So why not go after that? I think that's one other thing I'll say too is by being, by having a very distributed team with the pandemic, I mean, we've been more efficient too, just purely from a work perspective. So, I'm cautious when I say stuff like this, but from our perspective as a business, I think it's actually really been helpful. Obviously, as a society, it's been a terrible thing. But there are certainly winners and losers in business. You look at Zoom and stuff that crushed it, in this pandemic, whereas of course, other types of technology businesses have not, like in the travel industry. So I think it's definitely helped us all a lot. And I think in the future, I think iGaming and, online and mobile sports betting is just going to continue to take off. So really, while it's certainly not great from a societal perspective, I do think that on the sports betting side of things, I think it really allowed us to shape our focus and hopefully have big things to come.
So what can we look forward to from Zensports in the new year?
Well, so hopefully these licenses get approved. So that's obviously a big thing. That's very important. So, our goal really is actually kind of just that, is actually moving into as many states as possible in 2021. So we're not going to just stop at those 3 states that I mentioned. We would love to be sitting here having this conversation a year from now and be in 20 of the 25 states that have legalized sports betting. So we want to move quickly. So if we get into these first 3 or 4 states in the next 3 to 6 months, then hopefully we can really accelerate that in the second half of 2021 and go from 3 or 4 or 5 states to, like I said, 20 or so. So that's what it is. It's about repeating that process, kind of rinse and repeat, that we've done in these few states, and do them in more states. So that's the plan, and just, continue to delight customers with a next generation sports betting technology.
Mark, we're running out of time, but can you give out the website for Zensports and how people can download your app?
Yep, absolutely. So it's really, really easy. It's Zensports, all one word, .com. From there, you can click on the links to download either our iOS app or Android app. We are coming out with a mobile web app as well in January. So if you don't want to download an app, you'll be able to use us on the web starting next month, which is great too. And on Twitter, it's at Zensports. We have a Telegram, which is the Zensports. And then I'm personally the word entrepreneur. and then S as in Sam, F as in Frank, from back in my San Francisco days. So Entrepreneur SF. I'm on Twitter, and same thing for LinkedIn. So come check us out.
Mark Thomas, co-founder and CEO of Zensports. Thanks so much for coming on, telling us about this incredible company. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about Zensports in the near future. So please come back on and keep us updated about what's going on with Zensports, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
Turnpike Sports is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. And the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by William Hill in New Jersey. Football is back, and William Hill is celebrating the 2020 season with a great new welcome offer in New Jersey. Sign up with William Hill Online Sportsbook in New Jersey using our promo code PIKE500 to receive a free bet up to $500 with your first deposit of $50 or more. That's promo code PIKE500 for a free bet up to $500 with your first deposit of $50 or more at William Hill in New Jersey. Must be at least 21 years or older and in New Jersey. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, here we are in Week 15. It's been kind of a blur of a NFL season. Really odd weekend, too, this past weekend. The amount of field goals and extra points missed was just incredible to me.
Sunday was not a good day for kickers.
No, especially the New York Jets kicker.
Jets kicker had missed 3 field goals?
3 in a row.
Wow.
Oh, so, I think the Jets found a new hole to fill.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, we both did pretty good last week. We both went 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Yep.
And it was actually nice for me. I've had 2 weeks of 2-1 after 3 weeks of going 0-3, which just killed me this season.
For me, the Houston Texans didn't even show up against the Chicago Bears, so that was my loss. Yep.
Well, I'll be talking about the Houston Texans again when we are doing the picks itself. But
okay.
Overall for the season, right now, you still have a commanding lead. You are 28-14.
Okay.
And I am 22-19-1.
All right.
Now, as always, we do 3 picks against the either money. I keep wanting to say money line on this, but it's totals or point spread picks.
I like to do money lines for parlays because money lines are a little easier to predict.
I have to admit, it's one of those things where sometimes I prefer doing money line betting in terms of real betting when I'm not doing the show here.
Money line, especially with parlays, you're not going to win as much money as with point spreads. But you know what? It's the odds are a little better for you to win.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we do 3 games.
Yep.
And these will be put up on the Turnpike Sports blog right after the show is released on Thursdays during the NFL season. We may move it again for NBA, NHL, that sort of stuff when we do picks like that. But right now we're releasing it on Thursdays, and you go to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog, and you will see these picks up after about maybe an hour after the show is released. I went first last week, so why don't you go ahead and go first this week?
All right, my first game is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 3-point favorites and an over-under of 54.5. Now, the Raiders need this game for their playoff push, and I think they're going to play like they need it. Don't get me wrong, Justin Herbert has done incredible things for the Chargers offense, but as a whole, Los Angeles is not very good. And as you can tell from the total the books put on this game, they expect a high-scoring matchup. And I think this week the better team will win this one, and I think that team is the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders at home and laying the points.
Okay. My first game is the Houston Texans visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored by 7. There's an over-under of 52.5 here. The Colts destroyed the Raiders last week, 44-27.
I went with the Colts.
So did I. I went with the over.
I did too.
That was actually a 71-point total.
Yeah, no, the total
you don't see that too often.
The total was, the books put on it was 50.5 points.
Yep.
So, it did well.
And this was as the Colts were a 2.5-point road favorite, too.
I also put some money on the Colts I got minus 2.5. So, I did well on that one.
Well, the Colts have been averaging 32.5 points a game over their last 4. They haven't scored less than 25 points in any of those last 4 as well. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. And get this, the Texans are 3-12-2 against the spread in their last 17 games overall.
I'll believe it because I saw it last week.
They are terrible.
That's the game I lost last week. So it's
Well, I like the over here, the 52.5. But I found one other little quick stat. In their last 5 games, the Colts are 5-0 against the spread against the Texans.
Wow, good.
So I'm doing Colts minus 7.
My next game is the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 46. Regardless of what the total the books put on this game, I think this is going to be a shootout. I mean, last week against the Texans, the Bears showed that they could put some points on the board. And I think they're going to put some points on the board in this one, too, because it's being played in Minnesota. They're inside. There's no December weather to worry about. And I think this one has the potential, to be a shootout. And the total the books put on this game is too small in my mind. It's at 46.
Well, by game time that may go up, too.
Yeah. Well, I'm betting it at 46.
Yeah. If you get it at 46, bet it.
I'm betting it because in my mind I think that's too small. I think more points than 46 are going to be scored in this one. So I'm taking the over in this one.
All right, my next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, favored by 4, visiting the Atlanta Falcons. There's an over-under of 51. Let's face it, both of these teams don't know how to score on a consistent basis. They really have not been able to put together couple of consecutive weeks of high-scoring games. So, the under is 4-0 in Atlanta's last 4 games. The Bucs have scored 26 points or less in their last 3. Other than a 43-point win against the Raiders. I don't know where they came up with that 43 points because that offense has not clicked all year to the way everyone expected it to. And the Falcons have scored over 24 points over the last 4 games. It's just the under is 2-0 in Tampa's last 2 games, and both defenses are actually playing very well. I'm going with the under 51. I think that 51 is too high with these 2 teams.
I broke my own rule last week, and I put some money on the Falcons, and I swore I'd never do it, and boy, I shouldn't have done it this week. That was just awful. I think I said to you, why am I going with the Falcons on this one?
I've actually never bet on the Falcons this season.
I have. I had them at -1, and I thought they'd pull it out. I think they have so much talent, but they just don't know how to win.
Well, also, they don't know how to score consistently. That's the problem. Sometimes that offense shows up, sometimes it doesn't.
And, the interceptions last week was terrible. Matty Ice was just terrible last week.
Well, like I said, they've only scored
He's a lot better quarterback than he showed last week.
Over their last 4 games, they've only scored 24 points once.
Okay, from now on, I'm not betting on the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, next
anymore.
week you'll bet on the Falcons.
Right. And my last game is the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 41.5. If there is one team historically that the Patriots have done terrible against, I mean, even with Tom Brady as quarterback, that's the Miami Dolphins when they're in Miami. And this year, the Patriots don't have a passing game to speak of. And I think if they get down early, they have no chance to win. And I think that's what the strategy for the Dolphins will be, and I think they'll jump out scoring early, and I think they're never going to look back. Look, Brian Flores, he's a disciple of Bill Belichick. He knows Belichick, and he knows the Patriot system. And with the Miami Dolphins playing at home, a team where the Patriots have always struggled, I think it's probably going to prove too much for New England. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins and laying the points.
So 2.5?
2.5.
Yep. Well, I did this game, too, for my last game.
Oh, okay.
I went with the under, 41.5.
I got to tell you, if the under was like 45 or 46, I would certainly take the under, but that under is so low for me, 41.5.
In the last 5 Patriots games, the under is 5-0.
Don't get me wrong. I won last week taking the Patriots game under. I mean, that's what it was, but I think the under was like 44 or 45. I felt a little more comfortable with that number, but I considered it. I
just think the way the Dolphins' defense is playing, that Patriots' offense doesn't really stand a chance. Unless something happens like in special teams like the Patriots did against the Chargers, where they had one guy who basically created all their offense. But again,
I think
neither team is scoring.
I think the one time the Patriots went over was 2 weeks ago, but their special teams
That's
had
what I
a
just said,
score.
the Chargers,
They had a blocked field goal and they took it in. They scored every way possible other than scoring with a pass touchdown or whatever. I just their passing offense is awful.
Well, the last 6 times these teams met, the under is 4-2, and Miami is not a high-scoring team. The Patriots are nowhere near a high-scoring team except in fluky situations.
Yeah.
And I just think 41.5 is too high for these two teams right now.
Probably. I think you're right. But and by the way, for anyone who wants to be really entertained, if you have a smart speaker or on your phone, jump on Boston Sports Radio. It's just the panic in their voices. I mean, they spend hours trying to think of a path to the playoffs for this Patriots team when there really is none. I mean, I just don't see it.
Not now, anyway.
Especially with Buffalo beating the Steelers. And, hey, look, if Miami beats New England this week,
it's done.
I mean, it's done. I mean, I think they before this weekend, this is how crazy they're getting up in Boston. They're computing the percentage possibilities of the Patriots getting into the playoffs. I think it came up with 4% that the Patriots had a possibility of getting in the playoffs. And still, they were trying to figure out who has to lose and who has to do this. And I know it's a traumatic situation for them because for 20 years they didn't have to do this.
There's a whole generation of fans who have never seen a losing season either.
They didn't have to do football math where this team has to lose and has to get a certain amount of points and this other team has to win and whatever. But they never had to do it. And it's an incredible exercise that they're doing right now.
And what did they also say? They said the Patriots have to win out to go 9-7. Otherwise, they're a 500 or worse.
But not only do they have to win out, the other teams have to lose, and not only do they have to lose against certain other teams, this and that and the other thing.
I'm not even thinking that. I'm thinking
wow.
This generation of fans for the Patriots have never seen an 8-8 team. They've never seen a below 500 team.
Well, what did they say? This is the first time in how many
12 years that they haven't had 10 wins.
Yeah, the first time in 12 years that the Patriots didn't have 10 wins.
Yep.
So. And they're not going to get 10
And I won
wins.
my futures bet on that because I went under 10 for the season for
Way
the
to
Patriots.
go. Way to go.
And I went over 6 for the Dolphins and over 10 for the Bills. And it looks like the Bills are going to do it.
Yep.
All right, to recap. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders and laying the 3 points against the Los Angeles Chargers. Boy, I keep trying to say San Diego Chargers.
Can you imagine if the Raiders are still in Los Angeles? Still?
Las Vegas Raiders against the Los Angeles Chargers. Two teams I still say Oakland and San Diego for, but whatever. But I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders and laying the points. I'm going over 46 points in the Chicago Bears-Minnesota Vikings game, and I'm taking the Miami Dolphins laying the 2.5 points against the New England Patriots.
And I am doing the Colts by 7 over the Texans. I'm doing the under 51 in the Buccaneers-Falcons game, and the under 41.5 with the Patriots-Dolphins. Again, these picks will be put up on the Turnpike Sports blog after the show is released. Head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog button, and you'll see these picks there. You can comment on them. You can email us at info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Hit us up on social media, Twitter and Facebook. We're Turnpike Sports, and Turnpike Sports Radio is the Instagram handle.
And stick around because after this we have the Turnpike Sports Book Report, so stay with us because right after this is more Turnpike Sports.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-231-9279. That's 800-231-9279. 800-231-9279.
Tax Solutions Now is a complimentary referral service that connects callers to companies that provide tax services.
Money matters. If you owe thousands in back taxes to the IRS, how much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I paid less than I owe.
That's right. Money matters. So call Tax Solutions Now and get the IRS off your back. Since 2014, Tax Solutions Now has been a leader in the tax resolution industry. Remove wage garnishments, property liens, fines, and penalties. Qualify for the Fresh Start program or even uncollectible status. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I owed the IRS over $10,000. I paid a fraction of what I owed.
Call now to reduce or even eliminate your back taxes.
I called Tax Solutions Now and got the IRS off my back. Thanks. You saved us a ton of money.
Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you? Call now and find out.
Call 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, in this week's edition of the book report, we've got numbers, deals, legislation, and some more entries into our blotter. Seems to be becoming a more and more regular segment for our book reports here.
Well, we had that as a regular segment a couple years ago, the Turnpike Sports Police blotter, the athletes who were arrested that week.
I'm actually going to have to go back and
we
do a betting blotter.
We should do some more of that, like at least once a month.
Well, with the shutdown, no one was really getting in any trouble anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
I mean, certain players got in trouble with casinos and everything else, but nothing really was going on because of the shutdown. They were all quiet. But this week, We got a couple records to talk about for the month of November. Indiana and Oregon both have records to talk about. Indiana released their November numbers. They had a record handle for the month of $251.4 million. Revenue of $25.3 million, and they had an approximate hold of 10%. So that, again, 10%. I keep hitting on that one.
That's a natural hold.
That's
There's
a natural hold.
Legislations that say, Indiana has to have a 10% hold.
This is the third straight month of a handle of at least $200 million. And also, it's the third consecutive monthly high for taxes. So they have a tax record as well.
Oh, wow.
$2.4 million for the month of November in terms of taxes. Now, taxes are computed differently than revenue. Revenue is the hold, basically, where it's not only just the taxable revenue, it's also the promos and the free bets that the books give out.
Okay.
So you have three different things to look at: the handle, hold, and tax. But they have set a tax record, $2.4 million for the month of November. Oregon. Now that's basically run through Scoreboard, which is their app. It's run by the lottery, and also the sports betting tech is Intralot.
Okay.
And
Oregon set a record, huh?
Yep.
All right.
They have a record revenue for November, over $4 million for the month of November, a handle of approximately $25 million. The revenue record, that's up almost 50% month over month. So they have had a really steady increase in the revenue generated by the Scoreboard app. Hold of 16.4%.
Okay. Wow. All right. Wow. Good for them.
That's an incredible hold number. Year-to-date revenue reported as $17 million for the state of Oregon. Football is the biggest sport bet on in the state, $14.7 million. 59% of the November bets were on football. Soccer came in second with $3.8 million, basketball $2.2, and here we go, table tennis. Hanging around, $1.4 million.
Table tennis.
They out-earned or out-wagered or out-handled, I guess is the phrasing, mixed martial arts, which brought in only $800,000.
That's impressive. I thought the mixed martial arts would do better than table tennis, but hey, they like their table tennis in Oregon.
The one thing I've noticed about table tennis versus MMA, there's a lot more table tennis going on. Depending on what markets
I guess
you have.
Table tennis is more of a daily kind of sport. It's throughout the week.
It's throughout the day, throughout the night.
MMA is usually on a weekend,
Well, again, it also depends on what state can offer what.
Okay.
What sport. Because if you offer a lot more offerings in table tennis, because there are lots of different leagues,
yep,
you're going to have a bigger handle. If you only offer like UFC in terms of MMA, that restricts the amount of money coming in on a wager for that sport. I mean, that's the same way with football, basketball, rugby. Rugby seems to be picking up steam, I've noticed, too. A lot more states are allowing rugby betting on their approved sports betting lists.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, table tennis may just have more events than MMA. I think MMA's got a more rabid fan base than table tennis.
Sure.
I've never met a rabid table tennis fan.
And table tennis is, a lot overseas, which means, if you want to bet on something 10 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, guess what's playing? It's table tennis or soccer.
That's true. Well, I just mentioned that, or, in terms of what events are being offered by what states and everything else. I just went to a little tangent on that. Kind of goes with what Nevada just did. The Gaming Control Board just approved wagering on several new NBA awards.
Oh, okay.
You weren't allowed to do these before. Sixth Man of the Year, Coach of the Year, Most Improved Player, and Defensive Player of the Year. Those categories you were never able to bet on them in Nevada.
I'm very surprised. I would think Nevada would have those options to bet on, but no, I guess they didn't.
No, it's kind of interesting to see.
But the weird thing is, Nevada still has, you're not allowed to complete your registration for your online sports books on your phone or your tablet or you have to go to a physical sports book to complete your registration for your online registration, which doesn't make sense. But you can bet on these basketball.
Well, again, it's a matter of the states running with the situation that the entire country is in with the COVID and the shutdowns and the restrictions. A lot of states have shut down their casinos again. Pennsylvania as a whole has started shutting down everything. I believe their entire industry is going to be shut down for a couple of weeks. New Jersey may or may not do it. Governor Murphy's been kind of wishy-washy on that topic. Really hasn't said one way or the other.
I'm not sure what New Jersey's going to do with their casinos in Atlantic City. So, there have restrictions and for people inside, and you have to do your mask, and they take your temperature when you walk in. But I'm not too sure about what they're going to do with regard to keeping open.
Well, what'll be interesting to see in New Jersey, it's not just the casinos; it's the horse racing too.
Yeah.
I know the horse racing industry is still going.
Mm-hmm.
Again, restrictions on the casinos. I know Michigan shut down a whole bunch of casinos.
Yeah, in Detroit, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The Indian casinos are still open. The commercial casinos. That's also the other dichotomy you got to learn in terms of commercial versus the Indian.
Yeah,
Native American, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, the Native American doesn't go by the laws of the state. So, they have to choose whether they're going to stay open or not. So.
Well, I'm kind of curious to see what other states are going to be doing this, expanding their NBA offerings. The league, like we talked about earlier, the league is going to be opening up pretty soon around Christmas, December 22nd, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you have a lot of different futures being offered. I know Play Sugar House had some of these on there. PointsBet has them.
Yep.
So I think New Jersey's ahead of the curve with some of these things. Nevada is finally starting to catch up. Illinois actually just extended their non-in-person requirement. They got you don't have to go in person right now.
Okay.
Through January.
You don't have to go in person to finish registering for your online.
You can still
account.
register online.
Okay. Good.
Rhode Island got rid of it completely. That's not coming back.
Well, good for Rhode Island.
Although they are shut down right now. The only thing going is the sports betting stuff.
Good.
DraftKings has been kind of busy over the last week here. Not only in terms of making deals, but also getting involved with helping out a push for sports betting legislation here. The deals, one in Tennessee, one in Connecticut. DraftKings became the official sports betting partner of the Nashville Predators.
Right.
They're going to be offering, basically, they're going to have these special promos, but the normal promo is if you're in Tennessee, you get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 upon sign-up. You're going to see.
Now they're going to have like the signage in the arena.
Going to have all normal bells and whistles. Normal bells and whistles.
Their pregame and their things like that.
You're also going to see a static dasher board and virtual signage visible on TV for all regionally broadcast Predators games. You know all this stuff that they overlay on the broadcast TV, the broadcast editions of everything.
Okay, good.
They change them every period on the ice. You're going to see some digitally created stuff on the ice for DraftKings during this stuff.
Great.
They're going to be, let's see, let me get this. They're also going to be digital social media content as well. DraftKings are going to be all over the Predators homepage. They're going to be app integration in the Predators app, social media giveaways. They're also going to have a regular presence in, I actually like the way this nickname they gave them, This Week in Smashville.
Okay.
Nashville, Smashville.
Yeah, all right.
That's the Predators newsletter.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be everywhere. Wherever you see a Predators thing, you're going to see DraftKings.
DraftKings all the time in Nashville.
Now, DraftKings also did a deal with the Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation in Connecticut for sports betting.
Okay. Now, what is
Foxwoods?
Foxwoods. Okay, because there's another one, Mohegan Sun in Ledyard, Connecticut.
Yes.
So we're talking about Foxwoods.
This is Foxwoods. Now, what this allows them, it's basically the same type of sports betting deal everywhere you see. It's a partnership. It also has a fantasy sports component to it. That's going to launch before the sports betting because sports betting is not legal in Connecticut yet.
Okay. Well, I guess they're betting on sports betting being legal in Connecticut, huh?
Well, what happened here?
How close is Connecticut to actually doing that?
Everyone is contemplating 2021 for Connecticut.
It makes sense.
Now, what happened? A couple things happened that put this into motion as well for sports betting in Connecticut that affected legislation too. Not only this deal, but the tribe, the Mashantucket Pequot tribe. They have a deal with the Native Americans that work with Mohegan Sun, where they were going to try and launch another casino towards the Massachusetts border together.
Okay.
They dropped those plans. Now, dropping those plans, this deal with DraftKings for sports betting, has now spurred on the governor to say, maybe we can get something together, work out the gaming compact the right way, and get it moving in the proper direction here. Now, the one thing everyone is wondering what's going to happen, both tribes have exclusive gaming rights in Connecticut.
Okay.
They don't know if the governor is going to be willing to give them exclusive sports betting rights.
Okay. That should be interesting.
Which was important why DraftKings made this deal.
All right.
Because if they get the exclusive compact for sports betting in Connecticut, they're in great position. If it's a wide open field, it'll be fun to watch exactly how and who comes in and when they come in for that state for sports betting.
Well, look, DraftKings is big in New England. I mean, their corporate headquarters is in Boston. I know in New Hampshire they are the only sports book around, right? It's just DraftKings.
That's it.
That's it.
It's an exclusive deal.
So I guess hopefully they were trying to do this for Connecticut, and we'll see how that works out.
Well, one of the other states, while we're talking legislation, is Ohio. That has now reintroduced a lot of their sports betting legislation. One of the big hurdles, they just passed a bill within the last week or so here where they're moving ahead with sports betting. Mm-hmm. A $100,000 application fee and then a $100,000 license fee every 3 years. That's the main thrust of getting a sports betting license from the state of Ohio right now under this new bill. What was causing the issue was the skins for online sports betting companies per license. When the first bill was introduced way back earlier this year, the skins were at 6. Number of skins were 6 for each casino license.
Okay. That's pretty good.
As it was going through committee.
In New Jersey, it's 3. Right?
Well, that was the problem.
Yeah.
A lot of the committee members didn't like that.
Okay.
So they shaved it down to 3.
Oh, all right.
Now they shaved it down to 2 a month or so after that. Still wasn't going. This new version of the bill strips it down to 1 skin per casino.
Oh.
So you have the casino can have sports betting, their own sports betting online component. They can give it to a online entity. Now, the way this bill is set up, basically all of the skins are gone. Okay. Once this issues, there's 1 skin that's up in the air, but out of the 11 possible sports betting brands that can come in as a mobile brand under this, 10 of them are already as part of a already pre-existing deal.
Okay. And what state is this again?
This is Ohio.
This is Ohio. Okay.
They haven't passed it yet. It's moving through. We got out of committee. It's moving ahead, and they're starting to get a lot of more support for this.
These new states doing this legislation for sports betting, there's 17 states and District of Columbia already have sports betting, and they can see how it's going, and they see what these other states did in terms of their legislation. Why is this taking so long? Why are these
There's a lot of opponents.
Haggling?
There's a lot of opponents.
But it's just, there are cases you can follow in the United States where, there are states breaking records. I mean, I'm not quite sure why they're not following what these other states are doing so they can be as successful as these other states. But they're bickering about these things. It's
just a matter ridiculous. Of satisfying their constituency, these politicians.
And the lobbyists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested to see what happens in North Carolina. We've got some legislation or some sports betting legislation maneuvering from North Carolina, too. And it really has to do with the gambling compact between the state and the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians.
Okay.
The Tribal Council approved an amended compact Thursday, December 3rd. General Assembly passed legislation allowing the tribe to pursue sports betting last year. They're just getting to this compact issue right now. July 2019,
well,
they have
it's
the
been
legislation.
A tough year. It's
been
kind of a tough year.
What's been going on is the governor has been pushing off renegotiating the gambling compact.
Okay.
Now they're talking about moving ahead with a new compact. Like I said, it was just voted on December 3rd by the tribe. It's got to go into committee now again and be approved by the state. This is going to be interesting to watch because under the new agreement that was just approved, sports betting can occur only on tribal lands, and it can only be for sporting events that take place outside the reservations.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay.
Wagers have to be placed on site at the tribal casinos or the
Okay.
tribal sports books, wherever there may be.
So no mobile.
No mobile,
Okay.
not yet. And they're trying to figure out whether or not there's going to be how they're going to work the online side of everything. Because right now, the way the compact is phrased, it can only be online betting on the reservations.
Okay.
You
All
can't
right.
go outside a reservation in the state of North Carolina and bet on your phone.
Okay, well, that's why I said no mobile. So.
Well, it's
okay, mobile
on the reservation.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, the reservation's bigger than the casino.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, but it's really putting the geolocation software to the test, huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting to see how North Carolina handles this.
Okay.
Again, Michigan has announced a bunch of different licensing to about 11 different companies. So
Even
we'll
online
see
casinos, too.
Yep, we'll be seeing that launch sometime in early 2021. January is the target month for all this stuff. So, again, we have a whole bunch of other things to talk about, but we're out of time for this week. Just head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button. You'll see the book report put up there. We'll have everything, all the things we just talked about, plus a lot of the other news that we didn't get a chance to hit this week. You'll see that listed there as well. So that's it for our book report this week.
And that'll do it for us this week. If you're going out to one of the newly reopened casinos or sports books, please be safe. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.